Welcome to a new video and welcome to another wonderful product of nature. Today's product is a fruit, but it's not just any fruit. It's a fruit that grows in the desert. And it's a product of a tree that's probably the oldest cultivated tree in the world, being mentioned in the Old and the New Testaments, in the Quran, and other important scripts, with a special connection to women and pregnancy. So let's talk about dates. So dates are a fruit of the desert. They go back thousands of years, and it originates in what we know of as Iraq and the Persian Gulf, but there have been traces of it in Morocco in North Africa. And actually, dates were considered a staple food and a main source of income for North Africa and the Middle East. But it wasn't until the Spanish missionaries that took this tree to the New World at the end of the 18th and the beginning of the 19th centuries. Today, Egypt is the world leader in date production and date cultivation. The tree of the date is what we know of as the palm tree. Most of us have seen a palm tree because it's also used as a decorative tree in gardens and parks. It's a tall tree. It goes up to 21 or 23 meters tall, which is about 60 to 70 feet high. And from the time that it is planted, it takes about 4 years until it bears fruit, and about 10 years until it bears a full load of fruit. Now, harvesting begins August, and it could go all the way to October, depending on the region and the climate. The palm tree can live up to 150 years. With palm trees, there's the male tree and the female tree. The male tree does not bear any fruit. The male tree is used to pollinate the female trees, and actually one male tree can pollinate up to 100 female trees. And the female trees are the ones that bear the fruit. And the fruit is at the top of the tree, just like with the coconut trees, just like with papaya trees. The fruit is at the top of the tree, and maybe nature has done that from a wise perspective, so that animals that live in the desert, like camels, which are tall, cannot reach and eat the fruit, and let the fruit be saved for the humans. The fruits are actually like in bundles. So we see these stalks here that are hanging, and they hang in bundles, and every tree may have from 8 to 10 bundles. Every bundle weighs about 8 to 10 kilograms, that's about 17, 18 pounds, and it can bear about 100 dates on it. So every tree, we're talking about 100 kilos, that's more than 200 pounds of dates, which is pretty good. So let's take a closer look at dates. Now here we need to mention that there's more than 1,000 different types of dates. And as we said, with every natural product, with every product of nature, there are varieties because it depends, for example, in the case of the dates, the climate, the heat, the percentage of sand there is in the soil. So many factors play their role. Now here I have 3 or 4 varieties that I can show you. As you can see, dates have this wrinkle on them. They come in different shapes. So you can see there is a difference, but they're all sort of wrinkled. They contain a seed. Let me open one and show you. All dates contain the seeds. This is how the seed looks like. The seeds actually, they could be used for making soaps, for making makeup, but the palm itself, the actual palm, it's not much use for it. I mean, it could be used to make baskets and very everyday sort of rugs, but that's as far as it goes. Now there are many different types. There is the medjool, for example, which is the most known. These are the medjool. These are not the largest ones. There's also bigger than these, the jumbos, what they call. They originate from Iraq. They are big, they have a very rich taste, they have a very rich pulp. The ones that are very known, for example, in the US are the Digelet Noor and the medjool. These are the medjool. There are other types. There is the bahri, there is the sukari. The sukari is my favorite. The sukari is the sweetest, and it's almost round in shape. Now this here is another variety. This is a little bit less sweet or less tasty than the medjool. This, you can see, it's as if there is the sugar coating it from outside like a syrup. And there's this type which looks very dry and it's very, very wrinkled. This is actually very chewy. Now when dates are on the tree, they are yellow before they ripen. Either they are picked yellow and then they are put in the sun to ripen and become dark, this color, dark brown, or they are left to ripen on the tree and then they are cut and put out for trade. When in trade, and usually the medjool are the ones that are best fit for trade, and this is why they're known, they're quite tolerant for trade. But a lot of times when they have to travel, you know, big distances, etc., they are put in vacuum and there may be some chemical added, very small amounts, so as to prevent all kinds of microorganisms to grow on it. The yellow, they are not fit to be eaten. The only ones to be eaten are the sukari that are very sweet, and they could be eaten raw. There may be another variety, but in general, when they're yellow, they're not fit to be eaten because they stick to the palate. They have a very unpleasant texture in the mouth. But when they're ripened, they are very tasty. Now, as you see here, dates have wrinkles on them. These wrinkles do not exist when they are freshly picked. When they're first picked, the dates do not have these wrinkles. They're very, very smooth because of their high content of water. And that's when you can really eat a lot more. So, how good are dates for us? What's their nutritional benefit? Dates have an excellent nutrition profile. It has been recorded historically from people who have been living in the desert that humans can survive in the desert just by eating dates alone and drinking water. They are about 50% sugar, fruit sugar, fructose, but it's important to know that despite their high content of sugar, they have a low glycemic index. So it's one of those fruits that could be recommended for people with diabetes or for people who are trying to manage their sugar levels. Dates are rich in potassium and calcium. They are a good source of fiber. The magnesium in the dates, it helps in the formation of the bones, and the iron is good for the bone marrow. Now, dates also contain vitamin B, vitamin A, vitamin K. They have anti-aging benefits and they prevent the accumulation of melanin in the body. And they help to reduce menopause symptoms. Now, as for pregnancy, dates contain folate, which reduces the likelihood of birth defects. When consumed during pregnancy, and especially in the third trimester of pregnancy, it promotes and eases natural birth. A consumption of about 6 dates per day, especially during the last trimester of pregnancy, may prove to be quite helpful during labor. Now, as far as their calories go, first of all, they weigh about 7 to 10 grams each, depending on the size and the variety, and they contain about 20 calories each. So you would know how to include them in your diet. So what are some easy and simple ways to include them in our nutrition? Well, dates are a fruit. They're tiny, they're juicy, they're sweet, they're ridiculously tasty, and you just wash them and you eat them. And it's preferably that you wash only those that you're going to eat, because if there's water left on them, that's going to unfortunately help deteriorate. And I cannot help but taste one here, just so I describe for you the taste. This is amazing. Don't miss out on fruits like this. Let me taste one here. So the jewel is has a really nice pulp, very soft and very thick and very rich. This is a very special date. It's a little bit more expensive than other varieties, but you'll know why when you taste it. It's really good. So please include it in your diet. A lot of people may tell you, these are dry dates. There really isn't a dry date. I mean, dates do not go through a process of drying like with figs or apricots or raisins. Once they are picked, they start losing their water, and this is why they start having these wrinkles. The minute they're picked from the tree, they are smooth. The dates are smooth when they're picked, when they're fresh. But the minute they're picked, they start losing their water, so slowly they start shrinking. When they're freshly picked, they are smooth, they are soft, and because they contain a little bit more water, they are a little bit less sweet, but they are fabulous. So if you are at any place and you can get your hands on freshly picked dates, please do not miss out. Dates are a very healthy substitute to sugar. It's also known as nature's candy. There are several recipes where you can include dates. You can either cut them in small pieces and put them in things like health bars, or you can mush them. And a very nice thing that goes with the taste of the dates is cinnamon and clove. So if you turn it into a paste and if you add cinnamon and clove, it would be a very nice filling for all kinds of cookies and biscuits. So you can do that. A very simple way to consume dates is with your coffee, especially if you take your coffee bitter. The sweetness of the date comes into clash with the bitterness of the coffee, and that really makes a nice feast in the palate. So, what's to remember for dates? Dates have a wonderful nutrition profile. They can last a long time. You can buy them and just have them on the kitchen counter for weeks. Or if you put them in the refrigerator, they can last up to a year. And if you put them in the freezer, which is also a possibility, they can last a lot longer than just a year. So include them in your diet, because remember, the closer we are to nature, the healthier we are. This is the end of this video. If you like the content, then please click the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time there's a new video coming out. Please join us in our Facebook group for your questions and answers and the discussions. Visit us in Pinterest and Instagram for some beautiful photos of the produce that we show here. And thank you, and see you next time.